everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today I have a little bit of a different video for you. I've had a couple of people ask me, you know, whether they pop into streams or in the Discord, be like, I just finished shiny hunting this and I don't know what to hunt next. Can you give me some suggestions? So that's what we're going to do today. So I've put together a video that has 10 Pokemon that you can shiny hunt in Sword and Shield that I personally think have really, really cool shinies. We're going to go over where you can find them in-game, any moves you need to be aware of, like any self-damaging moves, whirlwind, that kind of a thing. But before we get into the list, a couple of quick disclaimers. All 10 Pokemon on this list can be found in both versions of the game. So if you only have Sword or you only have Shield, you will still be able to hunt for these Pokemon. The other thing too is that all of these Pokemon can be found in the wild. I didn't want to put together a list of Pokemon and have like 8 of them be like, alright, just breed for them in eggs. Personally, I really dislike shiny hunting in eggs. I do it on shinies that really kind of need to be hunted via eggs, but personally, I much prefer doing wild encounters. So all 10 of the Pokemon on this list can be found in the wild. We're going to show you exactly where you can find them. I'm going to show you the area that I would hunt them myself, and we'll cover all of that. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first Pokemon on our list is Noctowl. Noctowl can be found just east of Modestoke City. So just fly to the Pokemon Center on the upper level of Modestoke City and then exit east to the outskirts. And you can find Noctowl in the grass over here. It is a pretty common spawn, so you'll usually have a good chunk of them on screen at a time. And then if for whatever reason you have a bunch of like Sudowoodos or Coughings or anything like that, you can always just duck into the mine here and come back out, and then you can reset the area. And we've got a couple more Noctowls that have spawned here, along with Throw. So yeah, this is a pretty good area to hunt Noctowl. One thing to keep in mind is that at level 28, Noctowl does learn the move Takedown. So if you do encounter a Noctowl that is level 28 or higher, just be aware that it can do damage to itself. The Noctowls in this area do seem like they are fairly lower level, so chances are you're not going to encounter a level 28 one. However, if you do decide to hunt Noctowl in any locations in the wild area, because there are a couple patches of grass that Noctowl can spawn in the wild area, just be aware that it does learn Takedown at level 28. So if you do go to false swipe it, and it does Takedown, it will knock itself out. So that's just one thing to keep in mind when it comes to hunting Noctowl. The next Pokemon on our list is Tyrogue. Now, Tyrogue can be found just west of Modestoke City, so just here on Route 3. Tyrogue is not the most common spawn out here, so you may have to bike up and down and get the area reset to find yourself a Tyrogue. Also, I have a Trevenant with Harvest at the start of my party, so I'm seeing a lot more Gossifleurs than you normally would, so that could be affecting my Tyrogue spawns. But this is probably the best location to catch Tyrogue. You can hunt it again in the wild area. However, if you're at the end of the game, all the Pokemon in the wild area are going to be level 60, so all of those Tyrogues will be level 60. And I believe the evolution, if you catch it above level 20, will already be predetermined. I don't think you can manipulate its stats with any vitamins to make it have attack or defense change to be equal, or have one greater than the other. So if you want to catch a Tyrogue and then be able to evolve it into whatever you want, then this here, Route 3, is your best place to hunt it. Alright, the next Pokemon on our list is Zigzagoon. Now, Zigzagoon, again, can be found on the same route that you can find Tyrogue on. I really recommend hunting for Zigzagoon on this route because they are very low level. They're around, like, level 9 or 10. And Zigzagoon can learn 2 different moves that do damage to itself. It can learn Takedown at level 24, and it can learn Double Edge at level 36. So if you are hunting for Zigzagoon, like, in the wild area, or just past Professor Magnolia's house, once you have the water bike, there's a route up there where you can also find Blipbugs in the wild. You can get Zigzagoon up there as a pretty common spawn, but those are around level 40, so they could no Double Edge or Takedown. This route here, you are completely safe to false swipe it if you need, but it's already a pretty low level, so chances are you are not going to need to do any damage to it or false swipe or anything like that. You can probably just chuck a ball and you will be good to go. Alright, so the next Pokemon on our list is Noibat. Now, Noibat can be found in the Bridgefield area of the Wild Zone. This is right near the Wild Zone Daycare Center. Keep in mind, Noibat can learn Whirlwind at level 28. So if you are hunting for Noibat and you find one that's above level 28, it can know the move Whirlwind. And especially if you are hunting this post-game when everything is level 60, there's a chance it can know Whirlwind. So just make sure that you bring a Pokemon that is higher level than the Noibat, and it won't blow you away with Whirlwind. So that will keep you safe. Also, Noibats can get scared and they can like run away. So you might have it might be a little tricky to get the Noibats. Let's see if we can just get another one to spawn here. So here we go. So if you see like the blue marks around the Noibats, they're getting scared and they will run away and they will despawn relatively quickly. So you just want to be careful when you're hunting it that you are quick with catching the Noibats so that they don't fly away from you and make themselves despawn. Alright, the next Pokemon on our list is Snowruns. Now, the easiest way to get to where Snowruns can spawn is just fly to Sirchester and then just exit immediately south, and then you'll come into this route here, and there will be 5 different spawns in the grass. That's the maximum that you can have is 5. Snowrunt can spawn here. This is probably the easiest place to hunt Snowrunt outside of certain areas in the wild area once it's snowing or a blizzard. But the Snowruns here are around like level 35-ish or so, so they're going to be a lower level than they are in the wild area, especially if you're hunting at the end of the game, so they will be easier to catch here because they are lower level. Also, you can get some pretty aggressive Sneasels here. Sneasel is a very aggressive Pokemon. It will, when it sees you, it will just start chasing you and run into you, so you have the chance of accidentally bumping into Sneasel and getting a shiny Sneasel potentially. Shiny Sneasel is also a really, really nice shiny, but Snowrunt is, I think, a much better shiny than Sneasel is, and this is probably your best location to hunt for a Snowrunt. Okay, next on our list is Salandit. Now, to find Salandit, you want to go to the same location where you were hunting for Noctowl. So you want to fly to the top Pokemon Center in Motostoke City, you want to exit the city going east, and head to the Motostoke outskirts. Now, Salandit is a much harder Pokemon to spot because it is much smaller than anything else on this route, so it might take you a little bit of time to find them here. But if you do find a Salandit, it has an amazing shiny, and if you get very lucky and you find a female Salandit, then you can evolve that into a shiny Salazzle. You have a 1 in 8 chance of Salandit being female, so it's like the Gen 7 Combee Vespiquen. It's a very, very difficult shiny to get, but if you are lucky enough to find a shiny Salandit, and then even luckier to get the 1 in 8 roll of it being female, then you can get a shiny Salazzle, which is an absolutely beautiful shiny. One other thing that you can do to make Salandit a little bit more common to spawn is if you have a Pokemon at the start of your party that has the Flash Fire ability, because Salandit is both Poison and Fire type, and outside of battle, Flash Fire increases the spawn chance of Fire type Pokemon. So that will make Salandit a little bit easier to hunt, because the spawn rate of Salandit will be increased. And Salandit is the only Fire-type Pokemon that can spawn in the overworld on this route, I believe just in general. You can also find Salandit in the wild grass encounters, like the exclamation point spawns. So if you don't see any Salandits in the overworld and you want to just try the random encounters, then you can find Salandits in there. And also, again, just like for Noctowl, if you want to just reset the overworld spawns, you can just duck into the mine here and come back out, and then the spawns will be reset. Okay, the next Pokemon on our list is Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl has one of my favorite shinies of all the new Pokemon in Generation 8. Now, there is a very interesting way that you can hunt Grimmsnarl. You can do the Strong Spawn location in the wild area. This is just north of where the daycare center is. The daycare is just right back in there. So you can just fly to the Bridgefield location in the wild area and just head through the pillars here, and then you will find your Grimmsnarl here. Alternatively, if you do not want to soft reset for the Strong Spawn Grimmsnarl, you can come into Glimwood Tangle and do random encounters to try to find a shiny Morgrim. Now, the only thing with Glimwood Tangle is that there are no overworld spawns, so all of the Pokemon that you encounter have to be in the random grass encounters, so you're not guaranteed to always get a Morgrim spawn. But if you like all the other shinies that are in this location, you can get Ponyta if you are in Shield. You can get Indeedee as a 5%. You can get Sinistea, and maybe even if you're extremely lucky, a shiny Authentic Sinistea. This is probably the best location to hunt for a Morgrim if you don't want to hunt it, if you don't want to do an Impidimp hunt in eggs, or if you don't want to soft reset for the strong spawn Grimmsnarl. Alright, the next Pokemon on our list is Orbeetle. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can hunt Orbeetle. There is 2 locations in the wild area where there is a strong spawn Orbeetle. One is right over here next to the Lake of Outrage. There's an Orbeetle spawn here. And then just over here inside the Dappled Grove, there is another Orbeetle spawn right here. So those are the 2 strong spawn locations that you can hunt for Orbeetle. Alternatively, if you have the water bike, you can fly to Professor Magnolia's house on Route 2, and then you can head past all the Arrokudas and Barrascudas to this little route up here, and you can find wild Blipbugs in the overworld. They're about like a 30-ish% spawn chance, I believe. We have 5 Zigzagoons here, so the maximum overworld spawns you can have is 5. If you need to reset them, you can just come into the water and circle back up, and there's a Blipbug there. So if you want to hunt the Blipbugs, you can do it that way if you're not a fan of soft resetting the strong spawns in the wild area for Orbeetle itself. Alright, getting into the final 2 Pokemon. These 2 are some of my absolute favorite shinies of all time. So second to last on our list is Giggle It. Now, there is a location in the wild area where you can do a strong spawn Giggle It. It looks like we actually have a Golurk here today instead. So depending on your weather conditions, you might not have the Giggle It. You might have a different spawn. So if the weather does not favor Giggle It, you can actually hunt for Roggenrola in the Galar mine here. Roggenrola is a pretty common spawn in the mine, so you can just fly to Route 4 or to Route 3 and then just head into the mine, and then you can search for Roggenrolas in this cave. If you do choose to soft reset for the strong spawn Giggle It, if you have the weather that will make Giggle It spawn, just keep in mind that Giggle It does learn Explosion at level 54. So if you do want to soft reset for the Giggle It in the wild area, you will need to bring a Pokemon that has the Damp ability. Quagsire and Wooper are the easiest Pokemon to obtain with this ability, and I actually think that they are currently the only Pokemon in Sword and Shield that can have the Damp ability. So you want to just make sure that you bring a Giggle It or a Wooper either at the front of your party or that you can switch into, so that when you find the shiny Giggle It, you can switch over to the Quagsire or the Wooper, so that if the Giggle It does choose to use Explosion, the move will fail and it will not knock itself out, and then you will not fail the shiny. And the final Pokemon on our list is Drifloon. Now, Drifloon can be found on Route 5 in the Overworld spawns. So you can just circle around Route 5 here until you find any Drifloons, and if not, then you can just head back up here and just keep cycling around until you come across a Drifloon. Alternatively, there is a few locations where Drifloon can spawn in the wild area. The best place in the wild area to hunt Drifloon is down here in this lake. This is just east of the meetup spot, so you do have to, so if you fly to the meetup spot, or if you fly to East Lake Axwell, which is right outside of Motostoke, you have to head down over to the South Lake Mylock area, and then in the water down here, you can find wild Drifloons in the overworld. They will spawn in this location regardless of what the weather is. There are 2 other locations in the wild area where you can find overworld Drifloons. They will spawn in big patches in the grass, but there are certain weather conditions that Drifloon will not spawn in those locations. But down here, you are always guaranteed to find Drifloons no matter what the weather is doing. Also, you can come across wild Drifblims as well, which is Drifloon's evolved form. I believe there is, there's a spawn over here, and you can also find some Drifloons, some Drifblims right over here. So you can hunt for either stage if it makes no difference to you, or if you're planning to evolve the Drifloon into a Drifblim anyways, you can just do both of the encounters and you will be able to eventually find your shiny drifloon or drifblim. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that drifloon can learn Explosion at level 44, so just like the Giggle It, if you do plan on hunting the drifloon here as opposed to Route 5, you will want to bring a Pokemon that has the damp ability so that drifloon does not blow itself up. So that's going to do it for this video. So those are 10 Pokemon that you can shiny hunt in both Sword and Shield if you are stuck and you don't know what you want to shiny hunt. Those are some 10 Pokemon that you can hunt that I personally feel all have really, really nice shinies. If you have other suggestions of Pokemon that you can hunt, leave them down in the comments below, and we can maybe make a pinned list of some other really good suggestions. There are lots and lots of Pokemon that have really, really nice shinies, but I didn't want to cover all of them, otherwise this video would be hours long. I just wanted to pick 10 that, again, I felt had really good shinies, so that if you're stuck on a shiny hunt and you don't know what you want to hunt, then you can maybe hunt for one of the Pokemon on this list. That's going to do it for now. Thank you everybody so much for watching. If you do enjoy shiny hunting and you would like to catch us live shiny hunting, I do shiny hunt over on my Twitch channel. The link is in the description down below. If you would like to come join us for a live stream, you can click that link, head over, and drop a follow on the channel. That would be much appreciated. If you really enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Feel free to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you can get notified whenever I post a future video. Thank you again, everybody, so much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you in the next video.